Hello and welcome to the Blue Tweezers channel. Myself, Alan from the channel, and we had a big change in programming this evening. We were going to be doing the live stream of OSG's Napoleon Against Russia with the Battle of Shevardino with our mate Jordan McMullen, but unfortunately some family emergency has appeared on his end. So we've changed the programming to just a little bit of a Wargame Chat. So hopefully that's okay with you guys, and as always, if you can just pop into the chat and tell us that you can see me and hear me, that kind of thing, that would be really great. I'm going to send off a few tweets and things just to see. Gather the forces, as it were, and yeah, it's been a interesting couple of weeks since the last chat, and just thought I'd update you with what's going on. As is usual, let us know what you've been playing, or what you're about to play, or any new games you got, or anything like that, and I'll chime in with my thoughts, be they useful or not. And yeah, we'll see how it's going to go for the next hour or so. So, right, what are we going to run through this evening? Okay, so it was a bit lucky that today I actually got my GMT sale stash. My the GMT sale, if you remember, where they were offering 50% off games if you'd supported their GMT's P500. Ruff, hello mate. Yeah, good to see you. I hope you got my email. Sent it off a little while ago. And yeah, so I got that today. Ruff might have got his as well, seeing he's getting from the same source, and we're roughly in the same area. And I thought, well, I hadn't really done very much with them when they arrived today, so as we got the chat going, I thought, well, I'll maybe just delve into those and do one of my really crap unboxings, where everything goes everywhere, and you don't get to see very much of the game at all. But anyway, that's entertainment these days, isn't it? Michael, good evening to you. Thanks. Thanks for the popping in. Again, sorry that we haven't got any live stream play this evening, as Jordan McMullen, my normal opponent, has a family emergency to deal with. So wish him well on that. And as always, with a lot of wargaming, real life intrudes, and we just have to grin and bear it. So that's what we're doing. Right, so this little stash. So if you remember, the sale was you could get 50% off a game for each game you'd P500'd during the pandemic timetable, about the last 18 months. That worked out for me really rather embarrassingly at about 10 games. So looking through the catalogue, there really wasn't 10 games I wanted. I suppose that's the thing with that. If you qualify for enough games, then that means you've got most of their games, so that there isn't very much else to buy. I did have a lot else to buy, but it was, of course, dependent on what I wanted to spend the money on. So I ended up with 4 games, and might as well run through it with you. I have cracked the cellophane on one of them, so we'll start with that. And here it is. This has been out a while, so I think it was back in the last year or something. Time for Trumpets, GMT of course, Battle of the Bulge, massive game, a 4-mapper for the standard maps, and 12 counter sheets, I understand. So wow, it's there's a lot in here. It's actually pretty heavy, actually. It's very heavy. And very well packed. I mean, actually, I opened it, and if you can see from the edge here, the rule book at the top is actually just standing a bit proud of the box. So I'm not sure if that actually was how it was, but me just rifling through it quickly this morning when the stuff arrived. I seem to have not been able to quite get it back into the box, even though I've done nothing with it. But anyway, we have a rules of play here, and I think it's a unique game, but the system has come from a couple of other systems, the old Whacktam Rhine and Bitter Woods, neither of which I have or have ever played. So, you know, it's a new game for me. The Whacktam Rhine system was used in various versions in a lot of 70s games, 70s and 80s games. So I have played things like Call Some Pocket and things like that, which are derivatives. So, but no, this is new on me. I understand there's quite a lot of errata for it. I haven't looked at it yet, but let's see. Carl, glad to see you. Thanks for popping in on this impromptu chat. I hope you were looking forward to the live stream of Napoleon Against Russia, but we've had to postpone that. And yeah, what have we got here? We've got a play aid book. Normally you get play aid charts. This has got a play aid book. That's slightly worrying. Step loss charts here, setup charts, and full maps as well. Look at that. Full maps of the boards. And yeah, it's mostly setup charts and reinforcement charts. Full colour though, very nice. Reminds me of Streets of Stalingrad, although they had the big sheets, but they had all the counters out and stuff. It's very reminiscent of that. Then we have a scenario book, and that's 60 pages anyway. Fairly close type. It does seem to be all scenarios actually. There's some more setup maps here. Oops, there we go. So interesting that the play aid book has. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, well, we'll have to go through it and see. But yeah, it is all setup and scenario information. Normally these have a sort of like quite a big designer's notes, historical notes, all that kind of stuff as well. No, that's pretty solid there. And then we've got an inordinately large amount of counter sheets. Look at that. Wow. That you could build a tree out of that, couldn't you? So let's start with sheet 12. So there's obviously 12 sheets. Informational counters. Some more informational counters. So we have yeah, looks like fortifications and things like that. Nathan Wiseguy, his channel, he's done some stuff on this game already, so I've peeked at a little bit of that. It's quite interesting. And I suppose most of the rest is going to be American units and German units. Sorry, I'm not going to the camera very well because I can't actually see once I put the thing out. Just there we go. All German counters there. Ooh, actually they're quite easy to punch. Just one of them popped. Well, not quite. Two popped out. So I'm not sure if it's going to be necessary to clip these because there's a lot, and don't think my hands will take it. More German counters. Guess what? More German counters. I'm going to shock you here. There's some more German counters. Oh, and here we have British and Americans. Well, there you go. Thought they were in there as well somewhere. More American counters. I think that's all the Brits. We've also got some pink, snazzy pink. These look like weather counters. So, not sure what pink weather is. More Americans. And you know what's coming up next. More Americans. And finally, more Americans. So there you go, 12 counter sheets. Be buggered if I'm going to clip all that. Flaming Anyway, that's that. Now I'm going to get to the maps, which is going to be completely farcical because I'm standing here with a table here and the camera and the microphone, and let's get rid of my my logo there so you can see the whole thing. Lots of breakdown units. So, well, yeah, broken down wargamers as well, I think. So here we've got a map. I'm going to make a hash of this and probably end up ripping the damn thing. Yes. So you know, like you get those sort of formal unboxings and stuff. Well, this isn't it. Okay, this is just me, just pulling stuff out and showing it in front of the camera. So you could call it an unboxing, or you could call it just a complete farce. But it's quite a nice map actually. Reminds me of what they know as the 4X games, which sounds like an Australian beer, but it's the Mark Simonich stuff, the Zopbond systems, you know, Stalingrad 42, Holland 44, that kind of thing. Kind of reminds me of that. If we go right up to the actual map there, you see what I mean? Put it sort of, there we go. That idea does remind me of so similar artwork on that. So 2 maps. 2 more maps, although this one looks like it has a chunky bit which isn't map, it's the movement zone tracks and turn track and things like that. So but there is of course a map there. That's the 3rd, and this is, oh actually I've got it wrong, there's 5 of them. Is there 5 of them? I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Oh, okay, that's an odd number. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. 5. Ah, welcome to the old lady who plays. That's right. I'm trying to remember your name. Is it Kate? I think. I looked at your channel. I was having a look at a couple of things you were doing there. The RAF stuff. Good stuff there. Nice one there. Yep, 5 maps. So interesting. I wonder how that goes together. Let's. Does it have? It's interesting because on the back of the box, it's like a kind of. That looks very sort of coherent. It's not quite square, but it's not. I mean, it's a sort of fairly regular rectangle. So how do you get 5 maps out of that? Or is there another one? Am I missing one here? As in, no. So you know you had a play aid book. Well, you've got another one. It's just these are loose leaf. So play aids 4A. Is that the whole thing? That's double-sided. 4A. 2 of those. We have an artillery park. This is for 47, no, 50, 67, 67th and 1st SS Panzer Corps, 67th, okay. 64th and 2nd, 58th and 47th, 85th, 80th and 53rd. So that's lots and lots of artillery there. The German chain of command. There's another play aid card 1A, which is again fold out. What game are we looking at? We're looking at A Time for Trumpets. See if I can dig through all the stuff and show you the front. There we go. Oh, upside down. It's a Trumpets for Time. Now it's A Time for Trumpets. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, and we've been looking at it. How long has this been? It's been about 15 minutes. There's a lot of stuff here. Like I say, now rather cramped conditions here. Don't expect perfection here out of an unboxing. This is yeah, it's being unboxed and then kind of just thrown up, really. Where were we? Oh yes, halfway through the 57 play aid cards. Where we? Oh yes, play aid card. So this is play aid card 2A. Are there any B's here? Or is the B the inside? Oh yes, the B's are in. Okay, so play aid card A is this side. And B is... try and build my elbow the way it doesn't work. There, I can't get his camera thing right. There we go. Yeah. So I can't actually see what the screen's like because the camera's right next to the, just above the screen as it normally is on these laptops. So yeah, so lots of play aids and a play aid book. You probably need the play aid book to be able to reference the play aids. And 2 dice. Okay. And the much maligned inserts. That's quite a pretty insert there, isn't it? People don't tend to like that, but I think that's quite cool. And as is with these games of this size, that once you start punching counters and doing things like that, it's never going to go back in the box. But they provided this groove in the middle of the insert. I'm not really quite sure what that's for. Just for the 2 dice, because everything else is flat. I know it's not going to stay flat, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it's, if you missed it first time, this is the play aid book. So you saw the play aids. This is the play aid book, which is more maps and tracks of reinforcements and things. So there you go. Oh, some random events as well. So always a good stalwart of war games is the old random events tables. Just to throw a chicken into the works, a spanner, or, well, it's a random event, so it could be a spanner, could be a chicken. Right, time for trumpets then. Eh? Oh, on the back. Show the back. Oh, I did show the back, didn't I? Yeah. So there's the back. I've managed to do my little trick with the cellophane. So the shrink wrap. Cellophane is a bit of a British version of the word, so that it's still on the outside of the front cover. So managed it with that. It's another game I'll show you in a bit, which it doesn't really work for, but I've kept it on, but it's pretty dodgy actually. So what else did we get? This, if you're joining late, was what I got on the GMT sale, because it's finally got to here over in the UK. So my next one here. Next one is Next War Vietnam. Hey, there you go. My next war Vietnam. So I can try and open this because it's still in its shrink wrap. So talk amongst yourselves while I bugger the whole thing up because I'm trying to do it quickly and I don't really want to do it quickly. That sound of the scraping is me messing the box up. Anyway, so what's everybody else playing anyway? Certainly looks daunting, yeah. I think it's meant to. I hear it's the design. It's the designer's labour of love. I mean, he's kind of spent years and years and possibly decades on it. So, got to respect that kind of thing, really. I'm useless at sticking at one thing for very, very long. You probably noticed in this channel. Keep chopping and changing games. No, not really. In fact, actually, the channel's very useful to stop me from just setting up games, staring at them, playing half a turn, shrugging my shoulders, putting them away again, and putting something else out. Actually, that's the point of the channel, was to stop me doing that, provide some kind of integrity. Alien concept, integrity for me. The bottom bit of the shrink wrap came away, so that's great. I'm getting a bit of a dab hand at that, which means I'm getting practiced at it again. So, Next War Vietnam. So this is modern day. If you didn't know, the Next War series, there's quite a few. This is actually the latest, I think, isn't it? Yes, there's a Poland one. There's a Taiwan. There's a Korea. There's a India and Pakistan one, I think, as well. So, as it seems to be where they're packed at GMT, we have the rule books. So we have the game specific rules. That's 32 pages, and this looks like mostly scenario, well, half scenarios. Scenarios start at page 16, and yeah, special rules before that. Yeah, so there we go with that. Crossing obstacles is just painting. Okay, the house would be useful. Old lady play. Oh, Vietnam 65-75. What, the whole campaign game? Ooh, oh wow. Talk about daunting. You might have seen I did play a couple of I think one scenario of 65-75 with a very experienced player, and he absolutely walloped me on it. I think it was the what was it? I'm trying to remember. It was the Tain In province, Attleborough scenario, and he chased me all the way around the province. Didn't do very well. Standard and advanced series rules. So obviously there's a little bit of programming there that you can strip out stuff from your first play before you get to the advanced stuff. Alright, honestly, who are the people who go standard rules, advanced rules? There are only one form of rules, so they just do the whole. They go straight to the advanced rules, and they don't do the standard. I'm a little variable on that. I've done that a couple of times, but mostly I humour the designer and the rules writer by go, okay, maybe you know better than me, and I'll start off with the standard rules. And it's interesting because you've got optional rules as well, and I don't know, I'm not much for an optional rules person. I kind of go with the original. Don't usually play a lot of optional rules. I don't know why. I just kind of go, well, I've got the rules now. I've done the effort. I've got the stuff down pat. I know what's going on here. I don't want to add some more stuff. I've done my due diligence. I've done my duty and gone through the rule book and learnt the game, and well, as much as you think you learn it. And optional rules or more. Okay. So I don't tend to do that much, but anyway, it's all close type stuff. I'm not showing you very much, am I? But these unboxings don't really show you much anyway. Go and find some other channel that does it all formally and stuff. I'm just flicking through things while I'm talking. We have one map. Again, trying not to. It's my ancient art of map folding. There we have the map, and I can't see the screen, so I don't know whether this actually works for you or not, or you can even hear me. I hope you can. Yeah, there you go. North Vietnam, China at the top, Laos at the bottom, I think. Yeah, oh, interesting enough. Check out this at the bottom, right in the bottom corner. It's probably going to come out as reversed, but there, look. No, there. God, I'm rubbish at this. Dien Bien Phu. Sort of 21st century Dien Bien Phu. There you go. We have another sort of map. I know this series does have these kind of local area maps, or well, strategic area maps. Locals are wrong. And this is the way around. And bashing the mic and everything. There we go. So, South China Sea, I suppose. Philippines there. Rest of China. Even got Taiwan in there, which is interesting. I think you can kind of put all the games together and make one sort of big one. Well, I think with Korea and Taiwan anyway. It'd be absolutely bloody massive if you added India and Pakistan and Poland into it. But yeah, so don't think they. Well, maybe they're working on it. You never know. So we have here sheet 1, which is, I suppose, Vietnamese. Are the yellows, oranges? The reds are probably Chinese. yeah. Looks like we have some kind of allies here, so I think the Greens are probably Americans. And what else have we got here? We've got Browns, which look like they're British, possibly Australian. Some French as well. I think these are Marines, those are Army. And that's Air Force, of course, US Air Force and US Navy. So we've got carrier battle groups down here as well. It's very colourful. I think we managed all the colours, so this is just extra stuff for the colours. Snazzy purple ones here, which I think are Thai and Indonesian. Oh, that's cool. Okay. And Malaysian and Filipino. So there's quite a few different nationalities here. Because I did this in the right order, now we get the standard marker sheet. It's quite thick. I think it might be one of those ones which my clipper doesn't fit. Doesn't fit into my clipper, so. But I don't know what's it like on the old. They don't fall out. They don't automatically fall out. They're not quite that well cut. Okay, it's getting a bit monotonous here that we've got charts and charts and charts and oh wow, this is going to actually shame time of trumpets. Actually, look at this. Look at all these. Lots of information. Advanced game tables, and that's double-sided. Advanced air defense, advanced air combat on that side. Special operations, interdiction. Right, cool. That's a standard game, air defense. That's some advanced stuff as well. Strike effects. And sequence of play. There's quite a lot in there. Can't say how many steps, probably about 20 steps there, something like that. So there we go. And we've got duplicates because of the two sides. We've got a terrain effects chart here as well, and the CRT. So there's lots of traditional stuff here. General records track, and oh, another duplicate. So there you go. This time we have 2 dice, but they are black 10s. So the other one was white 6s. This is black 10s. So this game wins. 10s versus 6s. Okay, let's try and put this back together again. Oh, again, you've got this rather snazzy insert thing that people love to hate. I haven't gone for the supplements at all yet. I can easily get them for a decent price, and I thought I'd just look at the game first and consider. But you did. I know you did recommend them. I haven't gone for them yet. Again, wonder what is it? Just like counters supposed to go in here, I suppose. Because other than the dice, everything else is flat, as it was in the first game. So I'm not sure. You've got all that space which you don't then you fail to get. I have fitted this just about back into the box. That's great. Does anybody, you know the inserts, you've got a sort of gap on either side before you get into the middle. You know, sometimes I've hidden sort of counter in bags and stuff underneath the insert. That sometimes worked for me. Okay, third. Just as the other one drops out of reach. Brilliant, thank you. Here we have Great Battles of History, Volume 8, Cataphract. So, I've had SPQR for a long time, the SPQR Deluxe. Oh gosh. It wasn't the original, although I did have the original. Yeah, originally I had the original. Yeah, I've had SPQR Deluxe from, I don't know, 10, 15 years or something like that. Seemed like that anyway. Go for missile strike markers alone. Okay. Can always use some other kind of general counter to do that, I suppose. Again, we are just trying to get the back off of the cellophane, or not. He's not cooperating now, is he? Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, that works. And we're getting quite a crowd here. 11 people watching me just try and get cellophane off the back of the box. Off camera as well. The world's a mad place. It doesn't have to be a mad world to live in it, but it helps. Right, so what have we got? So this is Great Battles of History, Richard Berg, Mark Herman as well, I think. Both of them, I think, did this. Yeah, that's right, Richard Berg, Mark Herman. Like Mark Herman, like his stuff a lot. As I said, I did have SPQR, but I've never been able to get much of the other stuff, and it was all going out in little penny packets. You know, there was little expansions and things like that, and I could never tell the difference between a standalone game and an expansion, because I didn't have a lot of the base games like Alexander and this one, I suppose. Most of the stuff I couldn't really get, so I kind of stuck with this PQR and didn't worry. But this one I spotted was actually a sort of standalone game, and this particular edition, there's this, I'm not sure it's the first edition, certainly. I think they've chucked in a couple of extra bits. Yeah, insert you kept with our. Yeah, I'm kind of reluctant to throw them away, because it's kind of a bit of the artwork and stuff. But yeah, if you don't have cards, that sort of insert bit, I don't know if it's really that useful. You know, just making it pretty and just losing a bit of space. And these boxes get pretty tight. You know, ages ago, you know, with a lot of war games and stuff. You kind of held the thing, you did this, they went click, 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 as the dice flew around, and, you know, even the counter trades went backwards and forwards. Now they're pretty well packed with things. So that's not the case. So you need all the space you can get. Right, so we have... Okay, so actually that's right, there's an extra game in here, isn't there? So there's Cataphract here. That's a scenario book. And then we have Cataphract, the rule book. I'm presuming that the rule books are very similar to, say, SPQR, etc. It's probably got a few extra bits and pieces in there. But it's essentially the same game, I hope. All your inserts go into the bin, yeah. I don't know, I just can't bring myself. Actually, what I will say is I think I have recently done that with a game. I did go, right, I've had enough, get rid of this. I'll tell you what it is. It was, where did I put it? I will show you possibly it later, because that arrived last week. So it is new at Shea Tweezers. So it's probably worth a quick shifty. That's a look in British English again, vernacular. So scenario book. We have, I think it's 10 battles. So I think it says on the front here. So we have Utus River, Catalonian Fields, Dara, Kalinicum, Tricamaran, Senegalica, Taginai, and Casilinum. So, plus you also get this extra game, which is called Justinian, which is kind of a strategic game packed in as well that you can play, you know, it's kind of the whole Mediterranean, sort of moving around trying to... And yes, you get my meaning. So these games come with sort of back-printed maps, or split maps, or maps you can't handle in front of a camera properly. So you can see there's two maps there. You turn it around, there's another 2 maps there. And as with ancients, they tend to be fairly sparse things, mainly because nobody can tell what the bloody hell was there at the time because nobody wrote it down. So you get kind of, yeah, you get sort of the major features, I suppose, like this one. Oops, I'm buggering that off. Yes, Seneca Gallica here, which is looks like it's actually a naval battle. Whoops. As I get more practice with this, this will be like you know, in Wargame chats for years to come. If I end up still doing them, it'll be like second nature. It'll be like almost like a martial art. Switch, 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 switch. There you go. And the back, and off you go. But, right now, it's a bit of a mess. And this is the Justinian map. Okay, so that's worth a look at. Still back printed. Still got a battle behind. The Utis River is on the back, and that has. You know what? I'm not going to bother to show you because there's nothing on it. It's just a completely blank hex map. Yeah, at least I know the size of the battle, but literally, there's it's just a hex map. So this is what we've got for Justinian. There is another panel to the map. Starting to get cramp here, which is the old tables and things. Battle results table, movement costs, barbarian activation table. Yes. Rough, you off? Okay, mate. Thanks for popping in. Hopefully, see you on see you on Saturday. I think I'll be able to tune in on Saturday for the old war room at Jester's place, and then we may be doing something on the Sunday now that our Fields of Fire has finished. So we're the two of us are working together on that. So we'll see you. You'll see something appear, hopefully. Okay, so counter sheets. We have 2.5. Count and 2.5? No. Oh, that's silly me. 2.5. No, not even. Yeah, 3.5. Yes, 3.5 counter sheets. So there's a half counter sheet. So that's Huns at the top, then the Allens. Got to be my favourite tribe, eh? Allen from the channel. The Allens from the channel. They ride around on horseback. They're actually only on horses, so I'm allergic to horses, so that doesn't really work, does it? And Thracians, Romans, Franks, Burgundians, Saxons, Amoricans. It's like Asterix and stuff. Excellent. Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Gepids, Ostrogoths. No, we've done Ostrogoths. Yep, that's it for the moment. Then I think this will be the Byzantines. Yeah, the purples are the Byzantines. All these here. And then again we've got a load of other things going on here. Persians. So, oops, coming away easily. Persians here. Vandals, Franks, Goths. So just Goths, not Austro or Visigoths. This is just general Goths. Well, not general Goths, you know. So, well, military Goths. Saracens, along with it's more kind of Persians together, I think, here and here. And that's it, yes. And finally, the third counter sheet we have is we've got warships here. So that's that Seneca Gallica thing. So these are actually triremes, or you know, crude oared boats. Thinking triremes. That's the loss markers, the disruption markers, isn't it? And various other stuff. And then we've got a few counters down here, more Thracians down here. Yeah. So that's what we got there. Player aid cards. That's movement cost stacking chart. There's an insert. Don't see what it is. Clash of Spears and Swords. That's kind of different weapons technology. Oops, kind of different weapons technologies here in a sort of matrix. So we're up against spears against swords or something like that. Arrows and whatever. Shot combat, missile, cohesion hits. That's the thing with those number count as well. Cohesion hits. Trying to remember. They are. It's another one of the same. Then we got a sequence of play for Justinian. And presumably this is the Justinian player aid card. So looks like some random events here. And battle sequence and DRMs. So battle sequence there. Oh, another player aid here. Just the single side. Well, not a folder anyway. Command summary there, leadership checks on the front which you were looking at, and the same again. There's two of those. And game turn track, only one-sided. And we have the insert. Yay! There we go. The insert. Everybody boo, hiss, throw things at their screens. As long as it's not my screen, it's fine. Baggies. I didn't see any baggies in the other ones. Pretty sure the other two didn't have baggies. That's annoying. And 1d10 which isn't in a bag. So there we had 2 dice in a bag but no extra baggies in the other two. Now we get baggies and the dice isn't in a bag. You'd expect more consistency from these game companies, wouldn't you? That's just all over the place. It's almost as bad as my unboxings. Right, get clipping. I might pay somebody to do this. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say some of these are quite thick, so I'm not sure my clipper will actually work. Or sometimes you can just about squeeze them into the clipper because there's like a little gap. And what you ended up, instead of your hands getting, you know, sort of numb or worn, or you know, rubbed and blistered or anything like that, it's the end of your finger to push the counter into this little slot because it just goes kind of, and you end up with a sort of thing on the end of your either. You go between index finger and thumb doing it, and it bloody hurts. So I don't know whether I'll be able to on these. I'll have to check on the thickness. Yeah. And I won't get one of the big clippers because these ones were bloody expensive enough. Oh no! Oh, will you look at this? We got no. I don't know if I can do the same. Front cellophane preservation thing. We'll try, but it might just fall apart. So, game, yes, game, actually, yes, Arquebus. Yeah, so the expansion to the Men of Iron series. So I've got the tri-pack, and it's been around for a long time, but I never did any of it. And then, of course, they did the tri-pack, which was a hell of a lot of game for... Still a reasonably large amount of money, but a lot better than buying everything separately. So I went for that. It's quite a fun game. It's not as sophisticated as Great Battles of History. It's very similar, but it's not as sophisticated as that. But it's quite fun. You may have seen me and Ruff play a Battle of Bosworth Field from Blood and Roses in the Men at Iron tri-pack, and shall we say, Richard III survived quite easily, and Henry Richmond did not. So there's a bit of change of history there. If you manage to see that, if not, it's in the channel. You can go and have a look. It's a fairly sad tale. Yeah, Richard III really didn't even lose his horse, so he had to ask for another one. But anyway, there we go. This is being stubborn. Come on, you. There we go. Yep. Yep. Still managed it, but a bit of a shame that the front has got the shrink wrappers closed out. Yeah, just had a bit of a problem there. Baggies first, dice first, D10. So it's 3 lots of D10s and one's on D6s. So, and I think it's Deb packed it from GMT. Thanks, Deb. Cheers. Arquebus Battles in Northern Italy. So Men of Iron, the Men of Iron tri-pack is Wars of the Roses, the Crusades, and 100 Years' War battles. So this is updating it to battles for Northern Italy in 1495-54. So it's kind of Machiavelli style, you know. It's when the sort of Italian city-states went, you know, occasionally went bonkers at each other and then sort of faced each other off and then fought a little bit and then went back home. And then the French and the Spanish, the Bourbons appeared and upset everybody. You get really in-depth history out of this channel. I hope you noticed. So, glossy, 20 pages only. Well, I say it's not a really sophisticated system. It's probably pretty close. I suspect the gunnery is what's changed, though I can't really see much that's particularly that different. Mounted arquebusiers. Oh. Yeah, pretty, very similar, as it should be. This is the flight point track, so if you know the men-at-iron system, then as you lose units, then the flight point, your flight points go up, and when you get to a certain point, your whole army goes, I've had enough, bye, and that's it. Weapon system matrix, that's much more sophisticated than the men-at-iron. Usually it's only about sort of 5 or 6 of these, whereas you got lots. Mounted men-at-arms, I suppose, is it STR? Don't know. GE. Don't know. Light cavalry. Yeah, I'd have to look up all these abbreviations for the some gunners, arquebusiers. There's a few others. Don't know. Anyway, so that is a triple. That's a triple there. So, and the inside is actually all terrain charts. So for each battle you have a different terrain chart, or probably a couple of battles. So yeah, it looks very similar to, and we've got another one, of course, same thing. The counters, which are probably the interesting thing in these sort of ancients and medieval ones, always the counters which are interesting. So yeah, here we are with the first one, and these look like German, Italian, Spanish, I think sort of imperial troops. Here, down here with the sort of pinky ones are the Swiss. There's some Spanish here down this side. Holy Roman Empire, yeah, so it's kind of imperial troops. The yellows. The blues, clearly French. Allez le bleu. Yeah. Gascons. Some Italians here, but they're all French colours. More French here. Here. And then these are Venetians. Yes. These are Venetians. Oh, is that it? Okay. Right, so we don't have like Florentines or I don't know, Milanese. I'll have to look at that. And same thing as we got with Cataphract, so we got these double printed. I know your hearts are bloody sinking, aren't they? Oh god, he's going to get another bloody map out, isn't he? He's going to make a complete hash of it. There you go. I don't know what battle you're looking at. I'm looking at the Battle of Pavia. And it was upside down for you. But that's right upside down. Oh, this is 3. Big Cocker. Carignola. Carasoli. Okay. So you got 3. I only got 1. And another one. Right. So we've got Fornovo. We have Agnadello, and Ravenna, and then Marignano. So you don't get to show you the other side of that. There you go. And we did the baggies and the dice, didn't we? Yeah. And then we've got, this is the battle book. So this is scenarios. Yeah. So it's 40 pages worth of scenarios. Just wondering, interesting, in some of these they have like options on each of the you can fight a battle, and then you can fight the battle with some changes. You know, there's a sort of variation. I'm not sure if this is doing that. Anyway, yeah, sequence of play here on the back. So it looks horrible, but that's pretty much everything on there, and a lot of the time you don't really need it. Actually, it's 2 dice. Missed out. 2 dice here. So that's my GMT sale, and I'm sure you're all asleep by now. Terrible entertainment. But I managed to keep the shrink wrap, which is great. Deb goes back in. Cheers, Deb. Tried to get a sort of rather embarrassing sound out of putting the lid back on. It didn't work, did it? One of those silent but deadlies instead. Okay, so GMT sale, that's it. Cheers, GMT, 50% off. Still a hell of a lot of money, but it was 50% off. What's my favourite period to play? Well, that varies. I hope it does for everybody, really. I mean, if you get stuck on one, then I don't know. Just doesn't seem sort of right. There's huge panoply of history for historical wargaming, so you want to kind of wander about. So, yeah, it does change. I suppose I'm back to World War II at the moment, although I'll probably wander off. Quite a fan of World War One, but so World War II has kind of gone back in vogue with me. But generally, I'll float around. If you've seen the channel, it's all over the place. I mean, you know, just absolute bloody chaos. So yeah, but yeah, Napoleonics for my lady. Yeah, I used to be in a lot of Napoleonics. Ducked out for a long time, and just, I mean, the live stream that should have been taking place is Napoleonics. So yeah, sort of starting to get back in. I do have quite a bit of Napoleonics. I've got a lot of the old Le Bataille stuff, and some of the operational studies group operational stuff, not battle stuff. I've got this old Napoleon at base series stuff as well. So casual unboxing, casual. You've seen the sweat coming off here. This isn't casual. I'm absolutely just stressed out now. It's almost like calisthenics, you know? Map and player aid and player aid and player aid. And you can probably do this to music, you know. Yeah, I think I will next time. I guess, yeah, I don't know, Olivia Newton-John and physical. Let's get physical. And I want to get whatever. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of World War II. Yeah, I mean, it kind of captures the imagination for most people, I think. Has anyone in Europe, non-UK, received it? Oh, okay. Don't know, because I think it's all coming from Second Chance Games, which is in the UK. So you've probably got the extra hop, which we don't have. So maybe it's there. Amrev Tripack. Yes, I have that. I'm actually thinking of selling that. Haven't really got on with it that well myself. I ran through Saratoga. I think it's kind of yeah, it's a little bit like the sort of Men at Iron kind of GBOH kind of system. Not, but you know, it's kind of similar sort of level, and it doesn't. Not sure it really does for me. So I'm thinking about that anyway. But yeah, have good fun with it when it arrives. If it arrives, when it arrives, it'll get there. I'm sure it will. I'm sure Second Chance has sent everything out that they can Tony! Everybody's favourite platoon commander has turned up. You're a bit late. It was Sunday when we finished the game off, but you did very well. You did very, very well. You had the village. You kept the village. You did very, very well. So you should be proud of what you were meant to do but didn't actually because you weren't there. But yeah, solidarity. Good stuff on Fields of Fire. If nobody knows, Tony was one of the group of 4 that we were doing, but in the best possible way, he was possibly the most unreliable of the 4 for attendance, marked down, extra homework, that kind of thing. But good to see you here. The fact that you turned up to this rather pathetic chat, that's probably got you a lot of brownie points there. So you're in me good books again. You thought it was today. Yeah, because it was every Sunday except for this Wednesday. Yeah, of course. Oh, yours is coming from Germany. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, sorry. Don't know then. Hopefully it'll get to you. But I don't think it would take that much longer to get to Germany as it would be to get to here, so should be on its way. Anyway, cross fingers anyway. This week. Go on. Optimism. It'll be this week. Maybe. Right. Where was I going after this? Oh, yes. Some gaming updates. So let's do some little bit of shuffling with the screen. I'm going to try and shrink myself down into the corner. No, that didn't work. I shrunk something else down in the corner, which you can't see. Is this me? No. Can I? Me. Camera 1. Thank you. There we go. I'm going to shrink myself down as if by magic. And that's my vassal screen. Let's just shrink myself down a little bit more. So I'm not in the way. So this is my Gallipoli 1915 game that I'm doing on vassal with 3 Australians. With me being the Australians. No pressure there, hey. So we're on to the 4th turn for me, 3rd turn for the British. And this is Anzac Beach here. I don't know if you've seen it in the last few chats, but these orange ones are the Australians. We have the 1st Australian Division, and it's got 3 brigades, 1st, 2nd and 3rd Brigade. 2nd Brigade is the Reds, the ones with the red tops. The 1st Brigade is the Greens, which are just landing. And we've got the Purples, which are the 3rd Brigade, which are the guys who originally landed. And they're in a hell of a state. In fact, their attack has fallen apart. If I briefly show you the army status display here. So this is a list of officer points. Officer points is like money to do orders in the game and to sustain what you're trying to do, because you have to roll against a chart with a number of officer points. This is the chart underneath, to continue to do what you're doing, so that your orders don't get just thrown in the bin, because there's not enough people around, or it's just chaotic, and the formation can't actually handle it anymore, or if you want to change them. So as you see, I've got the 1st Australian and the 2nd Australian right up here, and they start on 12. 3rd Brigade is here on big fat 0, so it has absolutely no officer points. So just show you the next display here, which is the order sheet. So ignore the chart at the top. So they were on initial attack, which was the landing, and then, oops, I'm in a little bit in the way. An initial attack landing here, and as you can see, 2nd Australian is there as well. They're actually on stalled attack. This means that when you fail in any attack, you then go to fall down to stalled attack, and then automatically the next turn you go to this yellow one here, which is disorganized defense, which means that you basically stay and defend wherever you are. So looking at the 3rd, which is essentially this group here, sort of facing southeast. That's all that's left of them. They've taken really horrendous casualties. They still haven't got anywhere near the heights, which they were meant to be somewhere up here, and also down here in their attack, and they got nowhere near it, so they're stuck really. Yeah, so 2nd Brigade is attempting to march straight through these Turkish pickets, which are quarter steps. It sounds pathetic, but it really isn't. And then get through that and get up the hill. And the 1st Brigade here is just landing, is just in support at the moment. They haven't really got any orders other than just to hang around here in reserve. We've also got some New Zealanders landing as well. That's the ones with the black tops there, which are in a similar way. And where are the Turks? So you can see these cavalry units here. We've got a regiment here which is just formed up. This is all the same regiment, even the pickets are part of this regiment, but they've just walked up the road, so they're looking at that wonderful gap there, I'm sure, and thinking they might want to attack. And then also up here we've got these guys here, which is the 57th regiment. This is the this is Kemal's regiment, Kemal Ataturk's regiment. So these are guys, just the best guys in the game practically, and they've just been released, marching along. And we've got some more people here with the big U on, which are unreleased as yet. They're stuck there. And if we float down to the bottom, of which I'm not responsible for, this is the guy playing the Brits. We have Y Beach here, which has done very well, but it's in the kind of the middle of nowhere and doesn't really do anything useful. S Beach, which is doing quite well, it's starting to molest this Turkish coastal artillery here. They actually got some orders to do that. But on here, the main beaches, X Beach, as you can see, it's all Turks because nobody got ashore. And then here we've got the British landing at W and V Beach. W Beach is just about okay. V Beach is a hell of a mess. There's still Turks there. All of the British here are sitting inside the River Clyde, which is a steamer which they ran aground on the beach and hope that people just pile out and take the beach. Unfortunately, because they used sort of gangplanks to get down from the ship, which were just bullet magnets. Effectively, they're sitting in the ship, waiting to be rescued practically. Because it's a massively difficult to not die when you're moving off those in this game. So it's not very happy down in Cape Helles with the British 29th, but as I say, I think we're fairly historical, I suppose, up on Anzac here, just waiting the Turks to see how far I can get before the Turks get to counterattack. We'll see how it goes. But that is Gallipoli 1915. So I'm also doing a Pericles game here. So we're still on the first turn. It's very early on. I've just won a debate in the Spartan Assembly for the league. If I run it forward, my opponent, which is the bottom row here, had a 3+1 is 4. I had a 5+2, which is 7. Which meant I won that debate, and he ended up here on my number 3 chart on my side of the assembly. So I'm kind of winning 3-1 for the moment. We've still got 2 debates each to do, so that's where we are. Up here, this is the Athenians, and if you know anything about Pericles, you've got this. Effectively, you've got a buddy on your side, but you don't win together. You have to beat him as well. So the first half of the turn, you're actually fighting with your buddy in the assembly to get issues turned into activities on the board, and then the second part is actually putting those activities, and then we actually work together to try and beat the other side. So the Athenians are doing exactly the same thing as at the moment, doing a set of debates, just about to start the 3rd round on each side here. So that's that's where we are with Pericles. And as Jordan's not here, couldn't make it, just reviewing where we are with the Shevardino readout, which should have been the live stream tonight. And we're on to the second turn here. We did a restart because we drew some really weird cards, which meant that Napoleon went to bed and all his staff went to bed at the start of the battle and wouldn't wake up. So it was a bit nonsensical, so we stopped it. And actually we got some of the setup wrong anyway. So I'm the Russians here. The big thing to control here is Shevardino, which is a little village underneath that control marker. And I'm just building up a defence here, and the French are piling over the stream here to come and try and chuck me out of it. They've had one attempt and failed badly. Well, not badly, they just had to run away. Have a look at the previous stream to catch yourself up on that. Also, I've got a random events card here, which means I'm actually going to be piling howitzer fire on this village here, of which Napoleon was in. So he's going to have to skedaddle out of there. It's not a significant thing, but just something of interest to mention. And that's this is Library of Napoleonic Battles from OSG. So there's loads and loads of battles on here. I just not quite randomly picked Shevardino. I thought it would be much more localised than Borodino, but actually it's the same two armies. It's just a sort of pre-battle battle, and it does actually include the whole army. So I was trying to pick a small battle, ended up making a big one out of it through lack of knowledge. But there we go with that. And everybody's silent in the chat. Everybody shut up. Come on, please talk. Got to fill these. Got to fill the air. We've done over an hour. It's not bad going, is it? My voice is going to start going very soon. Yeah. I think we're up to date on what you guys are. Tony, you're going to have a box opening soon. Okay. I hope it's a little bit more coherent than mine. But hey, you know, each to their own. Right, last thing to do before you are summarily dismissed and discharged is just looking at what I've got actually on the table, because this is all vassal that I've shown you so far. And to do that, I'm going to do another whizzy thing with the cameras and stuff. So I am going to keep my camera on, turn that, and oh, as if by magic, we've got another camera there. Actually, we can probably do a little bit better there. And this is what arrived a couple of weeks ago. This is Panzer's Last Stand from MMP. So this is the BCS system. Sorry, I know the angle's not brilliant, even the lighting's not brilliant, but it's not a great little webcam I've got, which is hovering over this at the moment. I can't use my recording camera for it. It doesn't stream, unfortunately. It records but doesn't stream. So I'm sticking with that. So I'm going to try and head over to the table, and you'll see my hands, and hopefully you'll still hear my voice. And this time I'll try and get the mic stand to completely detach from the windowsill it's on and sprawl all over the desk and make a hell of a racket. So wish me luck on that, and you might get you might have some kind of rumblings and stuff as I do this, but let's give it a go. And if it doesn't work, it's just another comic moment, isn't it? So let's carefully point it in that direction. Hopefully that should be adequate. I'm going to take my stuff off, so I won't be able to hear myself, but hopefully you should be able to hear me. And from a long way away, I can kind of see the green still moving up and down on the slider, on the little level slider there. So you should be able to still hear me. If you can't, let me know, and I won't be able to read it because it's too far away. But oh, somebody wrote something, so I'll skedaddle back. Yeah, the game on the table is Panzer's Last Stand, Battalion Combat System. And here is can I? Yes, I can do this. Let me arrange it. You can see the front of it. So here we are. This should appear as if by magic. There we go. Look at that. The wonders of modern technology. There we go. Panzer's Last Stand. And as you can see, I've got the shrink wrap on it, but as you can also see, it's a bit rubbish. So the shrink wrapping on the MMP products doesn't kind of hold up to removing the back and staying on the front. It tends to sort of wrinkle up, so it doesn't do too well. So Panzer's Last Stand, BCS Battalion Combat System. This is the fourth one, fourth system. It's a big game. It's a 4-mapper, so it's almost Time of Trumpets kind of size. It's Hungary in 1945. It's the Budapest is surrounded by the Soviets, and there was a last push by a couple of Panzer Corps, I think, to try and get through to Budapest to relieve it, which utterly failed. Also, for the Soviets to try and stop this happening, they also did their own thrust as well, which also didn't succeed. So it didn't go that well for either side, but the Germans just ran out of tanks, ran out of fuel, that kind of thing, and very shortly after, this is January 45, so by sort of March 45 they were practically in Austria, so this at all, and I think early February Budapest surrendered as well, so it just didn't go well. But if you don't know, Battalion Combat Series is all about activating divisions, and the divisions, you move battalion by battalion, you activate the division, and then you roll to see if they get a full activation, which allows them to move fully, or partial, which means they move half, or not at all, in which case they just sit there and you grind your teeth. And then once you've done that, you can roll to see if you can actually have a second turn with the same formation. So there are 4 formations here. These little white things are not anything to do with the game. They're actually an invention of mine. They're actually from the Wing Leader system, where you get a chart with a load of these, and you put down information about the squadrons that you're playing with in the game. All I did was photocopy it and cut them out, and I've used them in Squad Leader, Wing Leader, just to be on the map. And I'm trying to do the same thing here, because each HQ has a certain number of counters which are associated with it, a fatigue counter, support units, and any other informational stuff. So instead of putting that on the map somewhere or stacking it under the HQ or something like that, I just have these somewhere near the HQ, so it's clear who's who, and you feed the counters from there. So what we have here is, this scenario is the attack known as the Surge by the 6th Tank Army of the Soviets, and this is going in this direction, coming across, and where they are, they want to be down here. There's a you can see this is the Danube River here, and there's a crossing point just off the map. It's actually on the map, it's just off the camera here, and that's what they're aiming for. They all started on this river line here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but we have 2 Met Corps, a Tank Corps, and a Guards Rifle division, all trying to flow through here. They met some Hungarians here, which they are practically eliminated. They just exist in this area here. This is a Volksgrenadier division, which is manfully trying to hold back this other Guards Rifle division. And we have here, we have a Panzer division, which has just come on the board. They come on the first turn at the north end up here. You're looking north is at the bottom. This is south. And they're just trying to stop this whole mass of Soviet armour and mech barreling down the road down to here. So it's not going too well. They've managed to reposition to this point here with some units to try and hold things back. But that's where we are. It's not a long game. I've done 2 turns, or 1 and 2/3 turns. It's only a 4-turn game. This is actually a 4-mapper. It's a massive, and this is, that's one half of one map is here to just off here, and then this is a quarter of another map from here just off camera here. So it's a big thing, but there's lots of little scenarios in it, which is quite nice, because the battles were quite localized. Even though it's a 4-mapper and you can play the whole thing, the actual thrusts which are in the game, these little operations and surges, are relatively localized. So you may need a whole map, but unless you're playing the big thing, you probably don't need more than one map at a time. But this is quite fun. I quite like the BCS system. I've got the 2 earlier games, Brazen Chariots and Baptism of Fire, which is all Western Front stuff, North Africa stuff. But this is Eastern Front, so it was interesting to see how the Soviets are in this system, and they are a bit different. They are quite cumbersome in comparison to the way the German Panzer did it, particularly on the mechanized side. It's kind of fairly unsophisticated, if you like, how the mechanized units work on the Soviet side. But anyway, that's Panzer's Last Stand. Just thought I'd show you that, and that's pretty much all I've got to show you, really. So I'm going to head back to the camera. We've had no technical mishaps so far, so this should it's going quite well, actually, isn't it? Good. Too big, yeah. I mean, you say too big for your table. As I said, there's lots of little sort of, not even one mappers. We're talking about half and quarter mappers scenarios in it. So it is possible to use it. And the other Brazen Chariots isn't that bad for small scenarios. I think Baptism by Fire is probably a little more problematic. On you need a bit of space for that one. But this works quite well. So right, can you still hear me? I think you can. Just turn the microphone around. I forgot to do that, but you should still be able to hear me. I'll just put the headphones on so I can tell. Yeah, it's coming through for me as well, so it should come through for you. So that's about it, really, for this evening. And again, apologies that we won't be able to show you the live stream of Shevardino, the OSG live stream with Jordan. Just to reiterate, it was a family emergency, so you know, real life intrudes, as quite often it does. But anyway, this has been good. Thanks for supporting the channel and getting involved in the chat. That's great to hear what you've been doing, and hopefully the really rather rubbish unboxing has been entertaining. To show you where I am with some of the games as well, and a bit of a look at Panzer's Last Stand in a, again, not a close-up way, but at least it's getting you some information on what's going on. Yeah, I think should get it too. It's not cheap, unfortunately. The BCS games are not cheap at all. That's the only bad thing I think. Well, the only bad thing I can think of about the system. It's a very pricey game. But anyway, that'll be it for now. And so I'm not saying you're let out early, but probably a lot later than you probably wanted. But still, it's been good to chat, and we'll do it again whenever's convenient for me, convenient for you, and I've got something to show you. But until then, hopefully the next thing on the channel should be on Sunday, where we might have something with me and Ruff doing. Ruff Swordsman Wargamer, who was here earlier on the chat, might have something to do then, and it will be on the channel for announced and in Twitter as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, so you'll get the sort of notifications and stuff of what's going on. And we'll see you in the chat in the next one. But until then, thanks very much, and bye for now.